When I start hitting that dance everywhere, don't say that I didn't warn y'all. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Play by Play with Jay. I'm your host, Jordan, aka Jay, and thank you for tuning in to episode 6. So hopefully you guys enjoyed last week's March Madness episode. The madness is still going on. The tournament continues. We're in the Sweet 16 round, trying to see who's going to be our next national champion. If you're like me, your bracket probably has some holes in it, but my bracket's not busted. There are a couple brackets in the Play by Play with Jay group this year that are busted. Sorry, guys. But I said, there was a lot of sports stuff going on that I didn't touch on last week. And a lot of what I was seeing or cared about really came from the NFL, because has this been the craziest NFL offseason that we've had? I know a lot of the reporters are saying that now. But let's look at it really quick. So I had my phone here because I had to write every single thing down, because there was a lot of changes, at least major changes. There was also players going from here to there. But let's talk about who we all care about, the big names. So of course we already know Russell Wilson's in Denver now. He's on the Broncos, right? And I think that he'll do well there. You got Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, but that's Russ. So let's go on. Von Miller to the Bills surprised me, only because I just thought that he would go back to the Rams. I know his deal with them was a 1 year, but they just won the championship. So I was like, why not run it back? I don't know. Maybe he he won once in Denver, won once, in LA. So I guess he's just like, if I could win another one, that'd be great. I mean, he signed a 6-year deal, for good gracious. And Von Miller's 32, 33? So shout out to his agent. I mean, then you got Tom Brady. I don't know why, but I thought, Tom, that you were going to retire. What happened to that? I don't even know why I even semi-believed it, even for a split second. All my friends, they were literally like, oh, this is a PR stunt. We all know that Tom can't stay home for long. They were like, oh, Gisele's going to piss him off in a day. He's not going to want to be around the kids all the time. And I was just like, no, he's done. He's finished. In my mind, this is before all of it happened, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, Tom's retiring. Aaron might leave Green Bay. Neither of those things happened. Aaron Rodgers re-signed to Green Bay, and Tom Brady unretired himself. So that's fun for the NFC. I thought I had just gotten rid of y'all, and here y'all are coming exactly back. Not even to different teams, to the same teams y'all were just on, wreaking havoc on. Y'all came back. Let's keep going. We got Khalil Mack. We know Khalil Mack was on the Raiders for a while. Then Khalil Mack was on the Bears for a while. And now Khalil Mack is on the Chargers. He's in the AFC West, along with J.C. Jackson, who is a Terp. So shout out to J.C. They're both on the Chargers. I think they're gonna definitely make an impact. J.C. is probably one of the better defensive backs in the league right now. We all know who Khalil Mack is, what he does, what he can do, how he can change the game. I remember when he was on the Raiders, and it was like you don't want to be in Khalil Mack's way. The way we talk about Aaron Donald now is kind of how we were talking about Khalil Mack back in the day, in my opinion. I just think that he was a really, talked about guy, in my opinion. So I think the Chargers are going to be, they're pulling the pieces together, because the Chargers fell short this past season too, over some nonsense, over, probably a misstep in the coaching. And I mean, I know it boils down to other plays in the game, but I think it had to do with the coaching and the play calling and the decision making. And we'll see what they do this year. I know the Bills are trying to bounce back this year, so hence the Von Miller acquisition, and the Chargers trying to bounce back this year. You got Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, and now you got Khalil Mack on the defense, J.C. Jackson on the defense. Joey Bosa is already there. Derwin James is already there. So the AFC West is seemingly looking. I'm gonna get to it though. I'll put a pin and say the AFC West could be seen as one of the scariest divisions in football. Then you got Juju Smith-Schuster went from the Steelers to the Chiefs. Now, I'm probably gonna sound hypocritical because I don't have a problem with players choosing their own destiny, going to get a ring like OBJ did it. OBJ left, he got cut or released from the Browns, right? And then he signed with the Rams. They had Matthew Stafford. They were trying to win a Super Bowl this past year, which they did. But some people will call that ring chasing. And I don't know. I don't consider that. I don't know. However, I don't really like Juju. I think that's just what it boils down to. Now, here's the thing. I did in the beginning. When he first got to Pittsburgh, and it's because I play fantasy, I was like, okay, who is this kid coming from USC? Juju would rather go on, do a TikTok dance on the opposing team's logo, versus probably doing like some warm-up drills. Like, I don't know. His personality, the stuff that he would do on the field, the antics, like the dances and stuff like that, like prioritizing that over just more team-oriented things. I don't know. I don't know what it is about the Steelers, because in general, and they're not my team, not even my division, but Chase Claypool. I don't remember the exact situation, down to the time on the clock or the yardage, but I remember it was a late game situation, right? And instead of he caught the ball, got the first down, instead of just getting up and giving the ball back to the ref so they could spot it, so they could go to the next down, he goes the first down celebration.
Pass caught by Claypool, first down, clock running. And it may come up and clock it now. There he goes.
Man, watch out. Y'all are losing. You just got the first down. The clock is running. Are y'all dumb? I don't know if it's a Pittsburgh thing. I don't know what kind of ship Mike Tomlin is running. Again, not my team, not my quarterback, not my head coach. But it's just I don't know. So Juju clearly went to Kansas City to win. Clearly. But I just don't think that they're going to do it. I think that, losing Tyreek Hill, which I'll get to, but losing Tyreek Hill is going to have more of an impact than gaining Juju Smith-Schuster. And y'all can quote me on that. Next season when it happens, when we see it, and we see the impact of both players on their respective teams now and how each team fares, I just personally think that the Chiefs are going to find themselves, their social media team is going to find themselves having to, tell Juju to stop making TikToks with Jackson. And Tyreek is running up and down the field, hitting everybody with the peace sign still. So that's just my take on that. Devontae Adams signed a massive deal to leave Green Bay and go to the Raiders. It's interesting because the report said that the Packers were willing to pay him, because Devontae is also over 30, and his deal is it 30 million? Yes, I was close. I said 30, it was 28. I knew it was around that range. So yeah, the Packers were willing to pay him that, but I don't know though, because if Aaron Rodgers, I just feel to give away, or not to give away, but to let Aaron Rodgers' best target go, right? After Aaron Rodgers said I'm going to resign, I don't really agree with that, but again, not my team. Here's the thing. Here's what's super crazy. I make tons of predictions. I talk about sports all day long. I'm usually half right. I would generally, no bias, I'm usually going to say that I'm 50% right, 50% dead wrong most times. Sometimes I can get a little bit a corner of a situation, but not the whole scope of it. I told my boyfriend, I was listen, if Devontae is going to leave, which I thought that he was going to if Aaron left. I thought they were a package deal. That's how they were moving last offseason. And I was bet. If one goes, the other's going to go. Cool. But then I wasn't really sure. But I was look, if Devontae goes on his own accord and he leaves, I said he's going to go to play for the Raiders with Derek Carr. Because Derek Carr was Devontae's college quarterback at Fresno State. And it shows. The quarterback connection the wide receiver connection is different. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. They played LSU. Now they're thriving in the NFL and the Bengals. if I'm an NFL GM, I'm about to be like, okay, who's my quarterback? All right, are any of his receivers good? Or any of his receivers coming out? Can we draft them late round? Maybe a sneaky pick. Bet. Let's go grab them. And I would go see who I can, because that's quick and easy chemistry. Doesn't take too much, too long to build. And I think he's really gonna do well with the Raiders. I mean, he is the best. I was gonna slip up and say OBJ, and you could probably argue me down, but I'm personally probably gonna say DeAndre Hopkins is best hands in the NFL. Best feet, like off the break, it's Devontae. Devontae first, Amari Cooper second. The two of them will cook you at the line. Absolutely saute you, get you up, flip the pan, and bring it back down and catch it like that. Devontae he's a specialist at that. So I was just thinking about where I would classify him. But yeah, I think because do the Raiders still have Darren Waller? Oh yeah, Devontae, Darren Waller, Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs. I mean, you're giving Derek Carr some more weapons. So I like that. I like that move for Devontae. But I just can't believe that my prediction was like 100% right. Like, then you got Matt Ryan on the Colts, which I don't have a problem with that pick. I just think that it's funny. It wasn't something so minor, something that only Jordan would recognize. But Matt Ryan wore number 2 in Atlanta, right? And Carson Wentz wore number 2 in Indianapolis. When, now that Matt Ryan's in, not that Carson Wentz's jersey would have been retired in Indianapolis, but when they made the post, they were like, there's a new number 2 in Indianapolis. And I was just like, that, like, I don't know. Like, I would want another number. Like, after that guy was, I mean, not that Carson Wentz was super bad in Indianapolis. He was kind of average, but it was just funny to me. But I think Matty Ice will do all right in Indianapolis, so we hope. Indianapolis just lost one of their receivers, Zach Pascal. And it's interesting because I know a lot of people. I don't know Zach personally. I know a lot of people who do know Zach personally because Zach is a Wise High School alumni. He, played for the Pumas. He won some state championships with us. Like I said, I have friends who know him. He went to Old Dominion. He was he on the Colts the whole time? I think he's been on the Colts this whole time. And then he signed a 1 year with the Eagles of all teams. Zach is actually good. So when I found out, I was hot. I was like, oh, what? How do they know about him? Dang. So hopefully, I mean, good for me. Jalen Hurts can't throw. So hopefully the Zach Pascal social experiment in Philly only lasts a year. Hopefully Dallas maybe sees him and be like, oh, let's go grab him. Give him maybe a 1 year or give him a little short multi-year contract, something like that. But good for Zach. Let's see. Then I mentioned it, and I'm going to piggyback on it now. Tyreek Hill. So the super star receiver in Kansas City is now living La Vida Loca in Miami. He signed a 4-year, $120 million deal, y'all. I think it was like $72.2 million guaranteed. So you got, Jalen Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Mike Gesicki, you got Chase Edmonds at RB1, and you got Raheem Mostert at RB2, or even if they do like a dual, double RB1 situation, you have both of them. They just got them this offseason. I don't know much about their line. Their defense is solid, and I'm just like, what happened to Miami overnight? Miami literally went to being 3 years ago one of the worst teams in the league, straight up, to 3 years fast forward to being a potential 9-10 win team. 11 is their ceiling this year. Wow. Their only flaw, their only crutch is the quarterback position, like Tua. But I don't know. I'm going to have faith that Tua's going to progress, that Tua has progressed. We know he's trash. We know he's average right now, very mid. And here's the thing. I don't watch college football regularly. I'm not going to sit up here and try and pretend. I know specific players. I know where certain players have gone from and played. So, like, Tua, Bama, he's average. What's up with that? Didn't Tua take Jalen Hurts' spot at Bama, which is why Jalen Hurts went to Oklahoma anyway? But Jalen Hurts, average. I mean, Mac Jones is okay, but like we've only saw one year of him. But like, and I don't know too many other quarterbacks that came from Alabama off the top of my head. But those are just the like I could date. But like what? I mean, like now the Alabama receivers, the Alabama D linemen, O linemen, the Alabama tight end. Every other position seems to be like thriving in the NFL right now. But the quarterbacks, at least that I just named, are just like, they're okay. I just wanted to put that out there. Like, that's just interesting. You have these pipeline schools where it's like, oh, if I go to Bama, or oh, if I go to LSU, or oh, if I go to Ohio State, or oh, if I go to blah, 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 I'm going to do this. I'm going to be so great. I'm going to get looked at. And it's like, yeah, you might get, like, looked at and stuff, but, like, you can still very well be average and leave Alabama or Ohio State or Michigan and come to the NFL and be average. It just so happens that nobody's been able to take Tua spot yet. I think that's the only reason why he hasn't lost it. The quarterback situation in Miami is so average. You got Tua as your QB1 and Teddy Bridgewater as your quarterback 2. Nothing against Teddy B, but he's average still, if not trash. Let's just be honest. So I just think that once they fix their quarterback situation, Miami, low key, is gonna be golden, and they're gonna be just a sneaky team, a potential playoff team. We'll see how the chips fall. Let's go to what I think could end up being the scariest division in football, which I never thought I would ever say. But you got Amari Cooper now on the Browns. I get it, Cowboys. Y'all didn't want to pay him. Y'all would have rather had CD, Michael Gallup, another receiver for the Amari price tag. So you got 3 receivers or 2 to 3 receivers for the Amari price tag versus just having Amari for his price tag. And at first I was like, he's gonna go to, because this was before they had a quarterback shift in Cleveland when they got him. So I was like, oh well, they got him, but like I love Amari, but like he's not gonna do well because the quarterback is trash. Like Baker is mid. Then like a week later, they get Desean Watson. Here's the thing about Desean Watson. He had 22, pending lawsuits on him for sexual assault and sexual misconduct. The grand jury decided not to pursue criminal charges, but I mean, all the civil lawsuits are still very much so active. So as soon as the grand jury said, no criminal charges, the Browns was like, we want you. But it didn't start like that. It was like a couple teams were saying, I know it was like possibly Miami. It was saying possibly Atlanta. It was saying possibly Cleveland all at one time. And then everybody was having their own perception. Oh, he's going to go here. He's going to go there. Like, I would have liked him in Miami because of what just happened. Like, all the, the pieces that they have, they could have still gotten Tyreek. I would have liked him in Atlanta because Atlanta has some decent pieces as well. And plus he's from Atlanta. So, hometown hero. But he's in Cleveland now. Desean Watson's on the Cleveland Browns. That team literally just elevated themselves. Like, you take Baker away, so now the division has, your quarterbacks are Desean Watson, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Mitch Trubisky. Allegedly, Mitch Trubisky got better when he was in Buffalo, right? Under the now Giants head coach. I'm not buying into that. I have to see it because Mitch Trubisky is very, 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 very bad at football. Mitch Trubisky is not a good football player. So if he can prove that he got better and he can elevate the Steelers with the loss of their wide receiver 1, because I do believe that, even though he was hurt, Juju was the best. Well, yeah, I'm going to stick to that. I believe that Juju was the best receiver on the Steelers roster. So you had, Juju, you had Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool. Now you got Deontay, Chase, and whoever else that they have. I don't know, don't care. But we're going to see how Mitch can do in a new environment. Let's see if he does better and elevates his game. But if Mitch Trubisky actually be good, y'all, the AFC North is going to be spooky. The Ravens are going to be trash because they still haven't fired the root of their problem. The Browns, of course, everybody's going to have expectations on paper because of what we see on paper. I think they can be good, y'all. I see it. I'm hoping it. And then, of course, the expectations are high for the Bengals since they just came back from Super Bowl loss. But, I mean, that's a high achievement. And I know it was a perfect scenario. Like, they didn't have to face specific teams because like the Chiefs and Bills played each other, etc. Like people were saying if they would have had to play the Chiefs and or the Bills, they wouldn't have gone to the Super Bowl. I sort of kind of agree with that, but I think they're here nor there. Like, you know, you can't, it happened, right? I really just think that the AFC North is going to be a spooky division. Because the Ravens are already good. See that? The Ravens are good because of Lamar Jackson, right? If they didn't have Lamar Jackson, the Ravens would be probably a 3-win team, a 4-win team at most. Look at their last season, right? Look at all the injuries. Look at the games that they won, okay? Who's the reason why they won those games? Lamar Jackson. Not John Harbaugh, not the receivers, not the coaching. Lamar Jackson. He's the reason why. If you take Lamar from that team does exponentially worse. If you put any other quarterback on that team, I don't think that they're as successful as Lamar, in my opinion. If you put Baker Mayfield on that team wins 2 games. That team might go 0-17 even. Because the games that they... Anyway. And I was telling my friends this the other night. Lamar, I can see him being, like, I want to be a Raven for life. And, like, if Baltimore is smart, they'll make sure that Lamar is a Raven for life. However, I don't want to see Lamar waste his time and talent here. He's too good. That's an NFL MVP. He's too good to waste away his talent in Baltimore if they don't put the proper pieces around him or put the proper coaching staff around him. So, I mean, both. We need proper pieces and coaching around Lamar. Lamar's fine. Get that man a wide receiver that's not 5'8". Baltimore, why are y'all not giving Rashad Bateman some burn? I don't know. And I got sidetracked, but is OBJ gonna come back to Cleveland? I know once they got Desean, there was a report. I don't know if it came from his mouth or someone else's mouth, but they were like, OBJ might go back to Cleveland. That's what would propel the AFC North to being one of the best divisions in football. You got the Browns being, you know, who y'all have? Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb, David Njoku, is he still there? OBJ, if he came back, you'd have, you know, Mitch. We'll see how he does. You got Deontay, you got Najee Harris, you got Chase Claypool, and I forgot his tight end's name, but the tight end on the Steelers is actually pretty solid. So you got them. Then you got the Ravens. You know, you got Marquise, you got Bateman, you got Lamar. Stop it right there. And then you got the Bengals. You got Joey B. You got Jamar. You got, you know, I'm not blanking on the rest of their receivers' names, but y'all know who their receivers are. Tyler Boyd and what's the other one's name? Y'all know his name. But the AFC North is gonna be like that. I mean, tons and tons of NFL changes. This offseason has been crazy. The rumors that have been swirling and circulating, the movement from team to team. And there's been like the stuff that I'm not naming. There's been like free agent pickups, you know, re-signings. I mean, last NFL season was the best that we've ever seen. People might argue differently, but I think since I've been watching football, it's the best that we've ever seen. The best that I've ever seen. Let me change that. It's the best that I've ever seen. Regular season and playoffs. The best NFL season I've ever seen. So I'm excited for moving forward. Like, how can you go from the best year and then, you know, regress? No, I'm looking forward to the NFL's progression. I don't know. I'm really excited. But to keep it going, really quick before I finish up this episode, and shout out to Justin because he put me on, but there's tons of just like sports outlets, media outlets, you know, people doing coverage, doing reporting. Everybody does it in their own way. So some, you know, companies or, you know, pages are more like statistics based, you know, some are just straight up more like feelings and opinion based. So like some pages are like, I follow one, he's a Cowboys fan, he's at Dylan's Raw Takes. He literally just goes on there and just spills his own opinion about what the Cowboys should do and this and that and the third. Or you have like front office sports that gives you the statistics and the data and the actual numbers from, you know, whatever sporting situation we're talking about. So for what we're talking about right now, circling back to Little March Madness just for a second, just the women's. Per ESPN PR, last year ESPN saw a 98% increase in fans filling out brackets for the women's tournament challenge. This year, participation has risen another 67%. Okay, well, hold on. Now, I'm not a mathematician. 98% increase. I thought the whole pie they taught us was 100%. So if there was a 98% increase, my math tells me that only 2% of fans filled out brackets in the previous year. That's what math tells us, right? If it's a 98% increase and the whole pie is 100, then it was only 2. So then it says, this year participation has risen another 67%, which is great. I'm all for the increase. I just don't know how to. I don't know how to math. The math ain't mathing to me.
I'm extremely confused.
You're confused. I'm confused, bro.
Me too.
But that's okay. I'm super excited about it. Here's why. This is also the first year that the women's tournament has been branded officially as March Madness as well. I know last year we saw, the turmoil unfold with the discrepancies in the gender equality weight rooms and what they fed them and the gear that they gave them. I mean, every level, it was bad. It was clearly men, women. Clearly, right? But this year, I think that they heard, a lot of it too. Let me backtrack. Thank God for social media and TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. It could be a double-edged sword. It could be good. It can be bad. In this scenario, it was great, right? You had Sedona from Oregon Women's. She made the TikTok. It went viral. And I think truly in my heart that that's the only reason why a change was made. I think that if she would have never just posted about it, shown people, what was going on, and they had to look at it, I don't think the NCAA would have done anything differently. Why would they? Just last year, that was what they provided them. Until somebody said something. So it wasn't in their mind to let's give them an equal weight room because women lift weights just as much as men, if not sometimes heavier, if not the same weight, whatever. Women can't just use up to 15-pound free weights. We need bars, we need benches, we need mats, we need everything that they have. I mean, even the food, the food was trash in comparison, and this year they were saying the food was much better, things like that. So I'm grateful for social media in that regard, and that the women's voices were heard. But the brackets, I just think I love that because that means that people were getting out of that I don't care about women's sports thing. And it's funny, and this is what I was gonna get into too. I don't feed into hate. I don't feed into it. My parents raised me to be a positive person. If you don't have something positive to say or nice to say, don't say it at all. My friends know that I'm a realist. I'll tell my friends the truth when they ask for it. I don't give unsolicited advice or unsolicited opinions about something because your opinion may not be what someone else necessarily needs or wants or even just cares about, I think that's what social media did too. Social media gave a lot of people the feeling that they can just give their opinion to any and everybody. Babe, no. We don't care. We do not care. But it's funny when I get hate comments because I try to be as objective as possible. Of course, there are going to be things that boil down to just my opinion and my feeling, and I always try to preface and say, this is how I feel, this is how Jordan feels about this, before y'all come attack me. And some stuff, the takes that I make, y'all know I am right about, I am spot on about. But it's always funny when I get hate or when people, and it's not common, but I mean, this one guy, he went on the TikTok. I tried to, listen, y'all, let me tell y'all how content creation is hard. Okay, keeping up with trends is hard. All right, so I was trying to be funny. I try to make y'all laugh on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. So I made a funny little TikTok and saying, because this did happen, right? This is very true. This is a disclaimer, right?
Hi, how are you? Back it up. You got the wristband?
No.
Why you can't get in? You need a wristband.
For the free?
No, I'm not gonna mess with you for the free.
Please.
I don't even know you.
Please.
And I had somebody real live hop in my DMs and was like, this person, listen, y'all, I don't care about if you repost my stuff or if you like it or if you comment or if you share it. However, However, I do always see the people who do. I try to go and like every comment. Anytime someone's engaging with me, I try and engage back, because that's just how more people will see your stuff, right? And it makes that person feel valued. Like, hey, she responded to my comment, she liked it, she did this, whatever. And so when y'all reshare, repost, like my stuff, comment on YouTube, whatever, I see it all. I appreciate it and I love it. But there are definitely people, no shade, who don't. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to share my stuff. You don't have to watch my episodes. You don't have to like it. But don't come in my DMs, say, hey, you gotta get me on an episode. First of all, I don't do free promotion. This is not, although the PlaybyPlaywithJ is not like 14 million subscribers or 1,000+ followers, this isn't a page to do free promo. So this is also an announcement. If you would like any sort of promotion, any sort of ad, any sort of anything for your business, for your music, for your brand, for anything within reason, ask me. We can discuss something, and I can very well start or give you a promotion on one of my episodes or on my page or whatever the case is. So yeah, guys, like y'all know, like I said, I try to be funny, goofy, a goofball. I mean, honestly, that's my personality. But I was trying to make a funny TikTok, and I post TikToks. I post them on TikTok, and then I'll pull them and post them on Instagram for you guys to see also. So that way, double dipping. And it's funny. His name is Jason. Hi, Jason. Everybody say hi, Jason. I have a cousin named Jason, but say hi, Jason. He said, nobody cares about your show. Now, let me back up. Let me back up, because I was talking to my mom about this the other day. If y'all know my mom, some of y'all do, some of y'all don't. My mom is identified as a confrontational person, right? My mom is about that life. My mom walks into the smoke. She raised me to be the same exact way. So like, if there's a situation, if there's a beef, there's a problem, like I'm the type of person that's like, oh, what's up? Oh, well, like how we gonna handle it? How we gonna work it out? Like I don't like letting stuff linger. Like that's in anything, relationships, friendships, anything. Like I address stuff and I try to get it resolved and get everybody back on the same page. That's what we want to do with each other. And so I'm very confrontational, even to the point where it's like, if how people be like that, he said, she said, oh, so and so said, da da da. I'm the kind of person who go to the person and be like, oh yeah, so and so said that you said this. Care to confirm or deny? That's Jordan. I'm a confrontational person. So I don't live for hate comments, but low key I be wishing people do, because I always reply back. So Jason said nobody cares about your show. He put it in quotes too, show. And I said, but you do, because you commented. That was it. You walked into that one. Now, do y'all think he came back and said something else? No, Jason didn't, because Jason knew better, because Jason knew that I was clearly about that life. Like, people go on social media and they make these fake accounts, or they have these accounts, hidden by aliases or whatever, to go on and troll and to do whatever and think that people won't respond back. But the second one actually came on Instagram. So this one from, again, an alias, you trippin' 85. So I made a TikTok again, on TikTok, posted on Instagram. So when I posted it to Instagram, it was the one pertaining like college women's basketball, about Caitlin Clark, right? So you trippin' 85 said, nobody cares about female basketball. Well, thank you trippin' 85. I took the liberty of going ahead to pin your comment, because I want confrontational. I want everyone to see it. And not only did I pin it, I went ahead and commented back, and I said, okay. Okay. And I'm very nice about it. I said, so next time, maybe just scroll and not comment. Save yourself some time. Because in order to comment, you gotta see the post. You have to decide that you do or don't like it. Then you have to decide that I'm not going to keep scrolling past it if I don't like it. That I'm going to go out my way and I'm going to comment something negative and take the 10-20 seconds to do that. Please. And did he respond when I came back and said something? Of course not. They don't ever expect people to respond to them. Now, sometimes people do, and sometimes you'll see people going back and forth. And not that I'm going to sit and go back and forth with anybody in my comments, y'all. That's not what I'm going to do. But I'm just saying, I live for the trolls. I appreciate it. It motivates me. Because somebody completely random named Hayden, she came back and commented to me and said exactly, I personally feel it's not appreciated enough. They're just as good, especially Caitlin Clark. You see how the negative comment turned into something, a wholesome moment between me and a stranger? So that's what social media can do too. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be sit right in the middle. You have to really find your niche and just have to, not let that stuff get to you and bother you. But I think that's why I appreciate and love social media too, because it's like it gives you the best of both worlds, right? I mean, my stuff is getting out there and getting exposure to people who I never thought would see my stuff, but at the same time, I could catch some flack or some hate because of my viewpoints and my opinions. And that's fine. That's my prerogative, because why? This is my podcast. But that's it, everybody. Thank you for so much for tuning into this week's episode. Like I said last week, had to come back, give all the, well, there's so many, but give just as many NFL updates as I possibly could. Like I said, super excited for this season, but last week I just had to touch on March Madness. And I mean, there was so much basketball, y'all. I mean, the round of 64 to the Sweet 16 is really my favorite. I think it's everyone's favorite just because there's so much hoops going on all at once. You got, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Straight basketball all day, basically. You cannot beat it. And I mean, not just basketball, but madness, like potential crazy games. Like, I mean, I'm excited to see the rest of the tournament. I'm ready for it to get going. I've only had one bracket that's actually been busted. That's because Baylor lost for the men's. My women's brackets are still staying strong, so I'm holding out hope there. Hoping, like I said, Gonzaga sees me through for the men's championship and the Lady Terps see me through for the women's. But if not, I'm just excited to see the rest of the great tournament, to be honest, because it's been good. But that's it, everybody. This is your girl, Jordan, aka Jay, giving you the play-by-play each and every week. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.